Hey D, how you going?
Hi, I'm so good. How are you?
Yeah, you're so good. Oh, that's sad because that's better than me because I'm bitterly disappointed because I'm chatting to you as the look. You are the queen of the jury, well, the Ponderosa, so that's amazing. That's a great spot to be, but also bummed that you're out at this point of the
I
game.
know. Oh, thanks. I mean, I'm bummed too. It's sad when you know that this is such a tremendous season and you won't be able to experience the rest of it and what Jeff has planned for us. But
Mm,
at the same time, I am at peace knowing that I've never experienced this side of the game being part of a jury, and I'm the
yeah.
first juror. So you already know I'm gonna have a drink for people when they get out of the game. I'm in the steps waiting for them. And I get to vote for someone to win $1 million. So that's honestly that's a pretty big deal and probably the worst case scenario I could have had.
Yeah, or 100%. Officially, you are now officially the greatest of all time for the new era of winners of Survivor. How does it feel to be the best winner of all time, being the
You
last
know
one
what?
taken out?
I never say that. It's not, I never say that. It feels nice to know, like, because I really gave it my all on 45 and I had a really big purpose, my family. And I think coming into onto 50, I knew that no matter what happened, no one can take that away from me, right? No one can take that
Mm,
away from my season on 45. And even then, like no one plays a perfect game. No one's a perfect person. We all make mistakes. And when you're playing a game with legends and people who have played this before, not just once, two, three times, it obviously becomes much more complex. So it feels nice. I think the best part of it all is getting messages from families saying my son loves you and they're watching you because, I often wonder like what's next for the next generation of Survivor, and to know that someone like a little kid is watching me and it makes them happy, that makes me so happy.
it's funny because like obviously this I don't know how you reflect on this because this season has like a bunch of the iconic players coming back to play Survivor, and then you're thrust amongst that as like one of this new era of iconic players. Is it weird to think that in 10 years' time, people might look back and think, oh my God, there's Dee, there's that person who's won twice and like play because you thought he was going to play again, and is like the new era like star. Is that a weird feeling to have?
I felt that feeling for the first time during the Colby vote off where we
Yeah.
were crying. Because all of that entire tribal council, there were no lies said between, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but it seemed like there were no lies amongst all of us. We all knew it was Colby. And, I have three Survivor legends behind me. And
Hmm.
in that moment, I realized, oh my God, I'm gonna pave the path for the next generation because they're not gonna do it anymore. This is their last time playing, most likely, right? So it hit me at tribal council, actually, like in
Yeah.
PV, and it really it warms my heart, but at the same time, it's like a lot of pressure because you want to be able to impact correctly. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it makes total sense. And D, I like, as a fan of Survivor, I need you to impact correctly, and I need you to bring back the concept of lying on Survivor because I feel like
I
this is
agree.
a
I
what's happening
agree.
here. I'm like shaking just thinking about it because you're
Yeah.
someone who is I think you're a fairly like honest player, but in Survivor at
Yeah,
times you can't be honest with everyone. You can be honest with the people that you
absolutely.
play, but you can't be honest with everyone. And it seems that there's a central thread running through this season currently, at least in terms of
Yeah.
what we're seeing. And I almost felt like it was an interesting vote because it's almost like this concept of integrity, I use that quotation marks, versus
Mhm.
people who are playing a more aggressive style. So when you're like coming up against like coach and that crew and that mentality, how are you trying to combat that? Because it seems as if there had been a real like big group think tank around. We got to get out the people who are in quotation marks lying.
Right. Um, I have a few thoughts about that. I mean, not I tend, I am a loyal player. If
Yeah.
I find my people, I will ride with them till the wheels fall off, right? But I almost think coming onto Survivor, that is the basis of what the show is made on. You are lying, you're manipulating, you're
Yeah.
deceiving, cheating. You're just having fun because when else are you gonna do that? I hope that, and this is all game talk, right? But I hope that people realize that, and it seemed like a lot of the players on 50 didn't. It kind of is like a slap to the face to the show because this is what the show is built on. Like this is what you want to see, and like you said, you cannot be honest with everyone because then you're not playing a game. What are you doing if you're honest with everyone? Like you know that you need to lie. Now, are you going to lie to your alliance? No, or maybe yes, who knows? But this is what you signed up for, and you sign up to lie and to get lied and to outplay or to get outplayed, right? So I almost think it's
Yeah.
kind of like a slap in the face. Um, and again, I am a loyal player and I love playing with people of integrity and honesty, but
Hmm.
that in the outside game, like outside in the real world, I surround myself with people that are honest, right? Or like if I ask them a question, they will tell me straight up if I'm wrong, you know what I mean? But on the game of Survivor, like that is what the show is about.
Yeah. I just find it funny because if you actually go back to the real OG of Survivor and you look at the very first season, there is this argument really around like Richard Hatch and Kelly, and it's like, are you going to vote for a certain brand of integrity, or are you going to vote for the best gameplay, the person who does
Mhm.
have to make the white lie in the moment to get the point across and
Right.
to win? And that's what Survivor was built on. It was built on the win of Richard Hatch. It's fascinating for us. There's been like the online chatter, and I don't know how much you want to talk about that, but of this Zoom online OG alliance that seems to permeate through some new era players as well.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you're a victim of the Zoom alliance as we're talking on Zoom right now?
No, I don't feel like I'm a victim. I listen, everyone talks, right? It's just people do it differently. Some people will
Yeah.
reach out individually, some people get into groups. Like everyone talks. I don't think it's a matter of, I don't think the root of the problem is people talking prior to the game because there are relationships that are already established. I mean, there's so many events that happen and people just
Yeah.
know of each other and it's a tangled web. Everyone knows someone and maybe you and I are best friends, but we don't, and then you have a friend and I may not necessarily get along with that friend, but it's your friend. So there's some sort of like respect. I think the root of the problem is not the pre-gaming, it's the what people say afterwards. And if you're going to, and this is in my opinion, if you're going to preach an honest game, but it wasn't honest even before you went in the game, that is the problem. It's not necessarily pre-gaming because maybe you just pre-game better than I did, you know? And
Yeah.
if I did fall victim, you pre-game better than I did. So it's not really about the talking, it's about what it's the contradiction in
Yes.
like hypocrisy in what you're saying, right? Because I can sit here and I'll tell you, I'll point out exactly everyone I talk to, how long, how short, but I won't sit here and say I'm playing an honest game in the
Yep.
game because I'm not.
No,
Because I came with it, you know what I mean?
yeah, no, I fully get that, and then it's funny because I guess the juxtaposition of that in this season for you might be Jonathan and the relationship that existed there. Can you talk a little bit
Yeah.
about the Jonathan line through? Obviously, that connects with the Charlie vote as well. Can you talk a little bit about maintaining that relationship and like you're even owning it at the tribal council? Like, yes, I blindsided
Yeah.
you. This is part of the game. Like, at a point, we're all going to blindside one another.
Yeah. I think here's the thing, a lot of it wasn't seen. I'd say my relationship with Jonathan is like a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's sour. And going into the game, I wanted to play with him. I like him as a person. Like even as a person today, I like him as a person. Very sweet guy. The
Yeah.
only problem was an OG Colo at the start of the game. You know, you can talk to someone and tell each other, I'm aligned with you. Let's do this. We're in a good spot. But if someone doesn't follow through, and this is for me too, right? Or you already see that they're obviously hanging out with the same people, I'm gonna know we're not aligned, right? And we see it in episode one. He's trying to get me out since day one. So it's not that I did blindside him, but everything that happened after that was going to happen no matter what because he already had his people and I was not part of his people and I knew that and that's why I decided to stick with the Charlie vote. But you know, in the beginning of OG Calo, I did a fashion show. It was so funny. I
Hmm.
had everyone dressed up as each other, like men and women. And after the fashion show ended, it was episode two. We won the tarp. We put the tarp on the floor. We're having a blast. I mean, it's freaking hilarious. After that, the guys on my tribe thought I had an advantage. And it was some sort of, I needed to do this and get everyone to say yes and wear each other's clothes so that I can gain an advantage, which had happened on season 42 with Marianne.
Yeah.
And in that moment, Jonathan never came up and told me that. Charlie never came up and told me that. So in my head, from that moment on, if I see you as an ally, but you're not telling me information that is going to be detrimental to my game, you're not an ally then. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just my mindset in the game, right? Because if you're an ally, I'm going to be like, Ryan, this person's saying this about you, just so you know, you don't gotta confront them, but just so you know. So that happened. And from that moment on, I kind of had my wits about Jonathan and Charlie already, and Charlie even brought me aside one day and was like, hey, are we good? I feel the vibe is off because from there on out, my vibe completely changed. I just was like, all right, well, they're their own thing. I gotta do my own thing too.
Yeah, no, fully. And there was like there was I know there's been chatter.
But
I
I'm so
know,
sorry. Wait, I will say Jonathan had every right to do what he needed to do for his own
yeah,
game and blindsiding Camilla, but that was already gonna happen. He was gonna blindside her. Even if I had gone with Rizzo, he was gonna blindside Camilla. Or even me for this vote. They were all gonna blindside me because they've been wanting me out since the beginning. I did not have the numbers to go against it.
yeah, and that's fair. And I look, I love that that's your headset as well because that is Survivor. Like you're allowed to make alliances with the people you want to make alliances with, and
Sure.
you've got to maintain the relationships. And like he spoke about how he felt on the outs, and that's his emotions. You've raised Rizzo a little bit there, being a complete newbie to everyone. I've heard through like the grapevine that you had spoken to Rizzo in the pre-game as well, which is so fine. Again, like to get that connection. Um, was it a mistake then by sharing? I guess specifically with some people, not Tiff, but with others about the idol for Rizzo.
Yeah, here's the thing, and I'll bring you back to a little bit more context prior
Yeah,
to the
please.
game. So we had a FaceTime call. It was maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah,
And in that FaceTime call, he actually lied to me. And he said that Savannah got fifth place and he got fourth, or I don't know what he got. But from that moment on, if you watch any of my preseason interviews, I said I don't want the 49 people anywhere near me because I
yeah,
already knew that if you're lying to me in real life, what are you gonna do in the game, right? So
yeah.
to me, telling people about Rizzo's idol was one to solidify trust, but also two, Rizzo's playing me outside and inside the game. So what do I have to him? But I don't think I made a mistake in telling people about his idol because of course Tiffany would never. I just made a mistake in the people and who I said it to. Emily, Jonathan, even though to for Jonathan it was more to like, hey, I know I blindsided you with Charlie. This is my way of like trying to get back together. You know what I mean? And then with who else did I tell? Oh my goodness, Emily. Yeah, I just messed
Yeah.
up there. I immediately regretted it. The moment I opened my mouth, I was like, yeah, you can see it in real time in the episode when I'm telling her. I just stared blankly at her.
Yeah, I saw, I don't know if it was a tweet or something that Sandra posted about Emily after last night's episode. It's like I can't trust her because she tells everyone. I know I like Emily, but
She's
gosh,
snitching.
girl can't. She keeps stitching. It's hard.
Yeah, you know what? She's awesome. Like in
Yeah,
real life, she's amazing. That's my girl.
yeah. No, she seems great. Something that was really sad about this season was when you met Zach Brown briefly.
Yeah,
Can you share about that? Because I look. I get fandom more than most people. Clearly, I'm like podcasting and chatting to people like you
I
on
love that.
Survivor. So I understand when you have affinity to people and it ties to periods of your life that are big. And I
Yeah.
like a lot of like I personally have had experiences like that with passings, and I'm sure people who are listening to this have had experiences with different situations in their lives. Why is Zach Brown so important to you? And then like even getting to see him in that context, like how has that been? And then the third part of that is how do you feel like when you're watching it and you're getting to see these guys kind of like watching him play live and then you know that you missed that completely? I can feel it.
Um, yeah, so it's funny with Zach Brown, my brother, and you said it perfectly. Like music just ties you to eras of your life, just like
Yeah.
scents, right? If you smell something, it reminds you. I first heard about Zach Brown through my brother. So immediately I love country music through my brother. Since I think I heard about country music eighth grade, sixth, seventh, or eighth, very young. And I vividly remember going through a breakup and listening to Colder Weather, which is one of his songs. But anyways, point is, the craziest part of all of this, in 2019, I went to his concert with my brother and a few other friends because we love his music. And the one thing they didn't show in the episode was the night before the reward for Zach Brown. Jonathan and I, we were, well, everyone in the Sela tribe, the split, we were all having conversations about music. And I asked Jonathan, because he listens to country, and I said, who are your favorite country artists? And when he asked me, I said, Chris Stapleton, Luke Combs, Zach Brown Band. This was
Yeah.
the night before. I cannot make that up. I've had people tell me, Dee, I cannot believe you said that. And so basically, when he came out, I had chills because one, how out of all the people in the world, I mean,
Yeah.
Zach Brown to a lot of people don't know who he is. You know what I mean? I love his music, but he's not known to a lot of people. Like, how is this the guy that just showed up? And I think for me, where I really got emotional is a few things. Like, it was the time of the month, so obviously not eating, but also knowing that I would never experience that at the
Yeah.
sanctuary because
Yeah.
he was gonna sing live for them. And to me, I don't keep up with shows. I don't keep up with like I don't keep up with I don't even know who he is as a person. Like I just but I do keep up with music. I
Yeah.
love music. I go to jazz bars. I listen to live music. I look up live music near me anytime I travel, like vibey wine. You know what I mean? I just love a good
Yeah.
vibe and music that makes me feel something. And even if I'm in the car with my friends, everyone's like, "Here you go, Dee, put the Bluetooth on." Like it's all you. And I have a playlist for country music, traveling, inspiration, jazz, like rap, a mix of everything. Everything. I have a playlist for everything. So to me, it just hurt that I was not going to experience that because I can go see him in concert tomorrow. That's not a big
Yeah.
deal, right? So it was just that. It wasn't even necessarily fanning out about him because I thought he was still chubby. Like he used to be chubby when I saw him in
Yeah.
2019. So I didn't even know that he lost all this weight. I'm like, is this him? But yeah, it was more so not being able to have that experience, especially because I also knew I had an expiration date. Like I
Yeah.
knew I was gonna eventually go home. I don't know when, but it was gonna happen.
Yeah, no, I love that. Like, because it was really, I love the episode in terms of the way they presented your love for the band and the music and the
Yeah.
connection.
That's somebody. Look, listen,
Yeah,
if I wasn't there, I don't know who else would have sang his songs, honestly.
probably no one, probably, which is
No,
fun,
yeah.
which is so fun. But like, since the episode aired, have they reached out or Zach reached out at all to like say, hey, like, thank you
I
for being such a big
actually,
fan?
yeah, I DM'd him. I cold DM'd him and I messaged him and I said my brother and I are gonna be in Vegas because he was touring for his new album, which like I knew two of the songs. I didn't know one of them that he sang. I heard it like after I got voted off.
Yeah,
And I DM'd him and he answered like a few days later. And he answered and he's like, yeah, I'll put you in touch with like someone from his team. So someone from his team put us in touch. My brother and I went to Vegas and we saw him in concert and it was awesome. And then they even brought us to go meet him. I met Kendra as well. Like it was really sweet. Like post concert, he was talking to my brother and I was like, wow, that's awesome. I'd be so overstimulated, but
yeah,
yeah, really cool dude. Like he's been watching Survivor since the beginning and yeah, it was really nice and humble of him to do that. Cause in my message I was like, bro, I need to be the cooler sister. Like you don't
yeah,
understand.
yeah,
Like this is mostly for my brother. Like I saw you in the island. Yeah, I didn't
yeah.
win, but I already saw you in concert. This is more like, all right, now I need my brother to experience this. And it happened
Yeah.
and it was really cool.
No, I love that. I love the tie through and the ability to have that connection. I am conscious of time, so I need to let you go in a second. I always end these chats by talking about the concept of gratitude. I can feel it through this chat. And to be really honest, I saw it when you were voted out.
Yeah.
Like you seemed sad, but also happy in the moment, which
Yeah.
I loved to see. Like I could feel your energy. It's one of the things I have loved about watching your two seasons and watching you specifically is like you have this really strong connection which like pops through the screen. What are you grateful for from this like Survivor experience you've gone through as a winner and now playing this epic season?
I am grateful to showcase my gifts and my talents. Um, I think people watch a version of me on the screen and I'm totally okay with that and it's edited, right? But I'm grateful that I can be myself. And I think the most impactful thing for me is when I get messages of people saying, "Hey, I applied because of you," or
Yeah,
"Hey, I want to do this and you inspired me," or something I said resonated with something in their life. And that to me is the biggest thing about this entire experience. I remember one time I got a message of a brother that lives in two brothers. They live in Brazil and their mom was dying of cancer and she loved Survivor. And the last season she watched was my season 45. And she was
wow,
like rooting for me. And so the brother in the DM was like, thanks for giving her last gift of life because she died like right after you won. And I just started bawling. I screenshot that. I put it on my wall because I'm so, like you said, great gratitude is the way of life, no matter what.
yeah,
Like you're healthy, you love your people. That's all that matters. And I just look at that and I just can't believe that because I was able to just be fearless and put myself out there, I'm helping other people, whatever that means, right? And I think for
Yeah.
me, that's the biggest thing. And also just being grateful for Jeff and the team, and they all chose us. So to be
Yeah.
chosen is a big deal.
It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal to be on this season. I've said this a couple of times, but I really do feel like however 50 does play out, it's going to be
Yep.
one of those iconic seasons. Heroes and
Yes.
Villains was that for a generation. I feel like this could be that season for the next
Yep.
generation. And your name is attached to that forever, which is
Yeah.
such a cool
It's
thing.
really cool. It's really cool you say that because, I think when seasons are airing currently, it's in the human whatever to look back and say, "Oh, I miss old Survivor. I miss this." You don't understand this season is incredible. Like it's about to get even better. And
Yeah.
and I know that maybe some people are upset with certain things I think in hindsight when the season's done, everyone would be extremely happy.
No, amazing. I need to let you go, but thank you so
Yes,
much, Dee.
Ryan,
I
you're the
really
best.
appreciate
This was
it.
amazing. You're so
No,
great at what you do. Keep doing this. You're
thank you.
super talented.
No, no, thank you for chatting to me and all the
Thanks.
best.
Have a good
See ya.
one. Bye.
Bye.